So it would be new class library, but it should be .NET standard class library, right? So it's still searching. Come on, why it's not coming up? Wow. So apparently when you are streaming and recording and running a VM, the whole system goes haywire. Okay, so let me do one thing. All platform, that's fine. All project, okay, C#, that's fine. Stand, yeah, here it is. Class library .NET standard. Okay, next. Yeah, so my code expansor, no, it should be inside the source folder. This is the mistake which we did last time. We don't have to repeat that mistake now. So it should be inside the source folder. Okay, like this here, select folder. Okay, so inside source folder, we'll name it as expansor dot models. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so it's creating the class. As you can see, this create button is disabled. I hope you are able to see this. Okay, it's creating the project. I think I soon have to figure out some way to use VS for Mac, because all these things are slowing my system down, running the virtual machine, running the Visual Studio for Windows. So once I check this in today on GitHub, probably tomorrow I'll figure out a way to run this thing on VS for Mac. So we'll be moving to VS for Mac. Okay, and I think hopefully I need to still need to learn about how to operate well on VS for Mac, especially creating that pull request thing and then creating that branches and all those things from VS for Mac. I know it from like from the Windows one, but not from the VS for Mac. So let's see how it goes. If not, we can anyways always commit to master. Like this is not but that's not a standard practice. You shouldn't do it on your applications usually. So, but I don't have any other option, and I'm the solo developer for now, so we can do it for this project at least. Okay, so we'll delete this class. Okay, this is killing me, man. This is very slow. This is very slow. Okay, this is going on. Wow. Visual Studio not responding. Yes, I don't need this class 1.c. Yes. Okay, and the way we'll be using those classes here is like I'll just copy paste them, since this is .NET standard class library, so it will automatically load this here. So what I'll do, right click, come on man, I don't need to read this XML. Yeah, so open file in folder explorer. Okay, open. Come on, this is very slow. This is very slow. This is very slow. I need to figure out some way for this thing. So guys, what I'll do, I'll just check in this code today, and then I'll finish the stream, and and let's connect back tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll spend some more time, and tomorrow we should have like we'll I'll create a concrete plan what to do, and then we'll work on it further. Okay, because this slowness is really killing me. So I don't want to, like, I don't want to write code like this. Now I feel how people like Durgesh is will going through when he see my videos. He was asking me to enable it for low latency mode, but I said that it is by default enabled. So anyway, yeah, so I'll copy this thing here, and then yeah, paste it here. I think still one. What is this? Come on, man, this is taking too much time. Okay, so this is ready. So let's close this thing. And what we have to do is, since like the code, the project here was Expenser because it was based on the database. So the challenge would be like, not the challenge, the problem is like it would by default come on the Expenser namespace, which is the home namespace. And I think that shouldn't happen. So we need to change the namespace of all the class files in this project. So as you can see now, all the class files are appearing here: account, app user, category, recurring transaction, target, and X transaction. So see, X transaction is our generic transaction. I have just added X because, as we know, like as explained in the last stream, that transaction is a keyword in SQL Server, or for that matter every database, transaction is a keyword. So in order to, like, it shouldn't create any problem with our regular transaction keyword in the database, I thought that it would be a good thing to name it as X transaction. Okay, so now let's rename this. Let's open this account. So as you can see here, okay, these are inside a region. Okay, so pardon me guys, like, since I have written this particular tool way back in 2000, I think 14, no, not 14, I think 15 or 16. So at that time, like, region was pretty popular, so that's why I have kept this in regions. So although these regions are not needed, so as you can see, these are the folders and everything. So this is the namespace Expenser, and what we need is Expenser dot models. Okay, so we'll just rename this thing models. Okay, and we'll copy it, Control C. Okay, and see, the system is so slow that the internal, that coding guidelines or best practices guidelines of removing unused using is appearing after so much time. So this is very slow, guys, this is very slow. Okay, see this one. So quick actions. Okay, now yeah, remove unnecessary usings. It's a good practice, because if you know, those of you who are like in their companies using like CI/CD tools and using code review tools like Sonar Cube, So SonarQube is a pretty popular code review tool, or used in CI/CD pipelines, and this would be an error. Like this would be kind of, I don't know the criticality of this thing, but yes, this is an Sonar error. If you use Sonar Lint, it will of course show you this as a error. So Visual Studio by default says that you shouldn't be keeping unused namespaces on your class file or on your wherever you like in your code behind or anywhere. So you should remove those things. So it's a best practice. You should follow it. Okay, so this is done. Uh, we have renamed it, and then app user. Okay, so I won't be doing it for every class one by one, but since we have to remove this data and data dot column common, because this is kind of unused namespace. Okay, so for that probably I need to open it, but let me do one thing. Control H. Yeah, replace this with this one. It's in current projects, so replace next. Let's do one by one. So it will be like this one. So app user is this. Now accounts, we don't need it, so it should like, okay, replace next. No, find next. Okay, so we'll go on next because we have already done it accounts. It's gone on app user again, so second, so it's going from top to bottom. Next it should go on category. Yeah, so it's gone on category. I'll replace this one, and then again it's going on app user. I don't want to go there. Again going on category, again going on account. Okay, now it's on recurring transaction, so replace. Okay, 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 I think it's go through all the open files. Okay, it's target, target and X transaction. So it has opened X transaction, it has opened target. Okay, so I think all of these are changed. I will do a save all, then I'll do close all windows. There it is. Yeah, close all documents. Okay, I'll build this thing. Expensive models. This is very slow. I'm not used to working on this slow environment. I have to figure out some way. This is very slow. Building, 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 building. Okay, and guys, if you want to listen to some music, please suggest some music. Probably some free streaming music. If you guys can suggest, that would be good. I don't know. Um, my choices are, I don't listen to music while coding, so that's why I'm not listening as of now. Okay, so build succeeded. So sorry, I was pointing my finger there. So build succeeded. So now this models is done. This is done. This is done. So let's publish this for now. Okay, let me publish this. Yeah, where it is, where it is, where it is, where it is. Yeah, add solution to source control. Come on, man. Reach here, buddy. Okay, Visual Studio not responding. Come on, yeah. Okay, it has gone down. I'll click on this thing. Add solution to source control. Okay, it's adding, adding, adding. Come on, yes, it's adding. It's showing not responding, which means it's adding. Because when like the system has gone down So like the performance of my system. So basically the system which I'm using is a MacBook Pro 16, MacBook Pro 15 inch 2017 model. It has 16 gig of RAM and 512 gig of hard disk. It has the all the graphics and all those things, graphics card. It was the maxed out model which was available in the store, because I bought it. I didn't had time to order it online. I was on a short trip to Cleveland, so from there I bought it on 4th of July. Okay, and so we'll check it in. So this is basically kind of a right now, yeah, 2020 we are going on, so it's around roughly near to. Okay, we'll go in. Okay, we have added it to source control. We'll click on sync. So what sync will do is like, yeah, it'll ask publish to GitHub. Okay, so we'll like do publish to GitHub. It should show my profile. Okay, so when I click on publish to GitHub, so another challenge is like these all things. I'm facing serious issues doing these things, like creating a new project and publishing to GitHub from the first, like for the first time directly from Visual Studio for Mac. Okay, so this is a problem here. I don't know what Visual Studio for Mac team is doing for that. Okay, I am not checking this as a private repository because we'll be like everybody is welcome to work on this thing, try it out. Okay, so expenser description. This is my live streaming project. Okay, and I'll publish. Okay, so I think let's do one thing today. uh Day before yesterday, or I think yesterday, yeah, yesterday, not day before yesterday, sorry, yesterday. Okay, so this repository created successfully. I have to sync it once so that it should appear on my GitHub profile. Okay, so it's syncing. I don't know why I have to. I have this habit of clicking on sync again and again unless and until I get this message that this has been synced properly. Okay, so yeah, successfully synchronized incoming and outgoing commits. So this has been synced. Let's check it out. Sorry, yeah, this was the tool I was going to talk about probably during the break, but anyway, we'll talk about it later. Okay, so as you can see, created two commits to the repository Techie Rathor / expenser. So this is my live streaming project. I have added the description here, this, and we don't have any readme file yet. We have the source folder. We don't have any test project as of now, so that's why it hasn't added the test folder. We should add the test project at least, even though we won't be building it, but we should add it for now, so that like I can check it in, because as I said, VS for Mac doesn't give me those all opportunities, or does it? We can try that, because now this is done, so we can set it up on my Mac and then we can see whether this one works or not. Okay, so let's do one thing. Since this is very slow, we'll close this thing, Visual Studio, a big memory hog. So Visual Studio for Windows is closed. Okay, and yes, we need to move this to MySQL also, because like MySQL we have to, because we like on production we will be using MySQL for the development, so we have to move this to MySQL also. And I need to install MySQL on my Mac, because Earlier I used to have MySQL on my Mac, but then I removed it. I don't know, it was like upgraded to something or not. So, and I wanted to experiment with using it with containers. So probably will tomorrow set what we'll do tomorrow is like we'll set up the MySQL and we'll move the database to MySQL. Okay, we can do that tomorrow. That we can try. Okay, so for now, I'll do this thing later. So should I shut it down? Yeah, I think I should shut it down. Okay, let me shut down. Why I'm showing you this? Anyways, okay, in the meantime, what we'll do is like, yeah, Visual Studio. So it's still opening, still opening, still opening. Come on. And this one is it's shutting down. Fine. Perfect. So, okay. Come on. Wow. Visual Studio for Mac is hanging on me. Guys, it seems like stars are not aligned for. Okay, now, yeah, this is done. So it shows that volumes MACD my code expansor. I already have this thing. Wow, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I think I think that was the reason that the stream is so slow. I tried the hotkey to change the screen to scene to main scene, but it was still on the camera mode. I think that's the reason this was very slow. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for that. Uh, so anyway, I think today's stream was kind of a waste. I'm so sorry. What can I do? Let me move to main scene. Yeah. Now I think let me check here. Okay. Now it's appearing. Wow. This would be a nice video to watch. Okay. So I am now on Visual Studio for Mac. Let's minimize this thing. Okay, so it says that on my code expansor I already have an expansor. Okay, so let me check whether I have an expansor or not. So this is MACD my code, and yes, I have an expansor here. So what I'll do is like I'll delete this expansor because I don't need this one. This is the one which we created on the first day, I guess. So I'll remove this thing, and now what I'll do is like I'll go on this version control, I'll check out, I'll click on checkout. So now I'm setting up this code on my local machine. So you can see here MACD my code, this is set up. So what I have to do is now I have to go here, clone or download command. I'll copy this thing and then I'll go on Mac again, I'll paste this thing, and yeah, so this is my code expansor, this is set up, checkout. So when I click on checkout, it's cloning. Okay, it's restoring packages for the solution, and we will play with the whole shenanigan of changing the browser and everything. We'll try all those things. Okay, so since we are developing using a Microsoft IDE, using a Microsoft technology, so we'll use the Microsoft Edge beta browser. Okay, I think that would be that That would be good. Okay, so we have project saved, everything set and ready, and Expenser Web is our default project. As you can see, this is slightly bold out than other ones. So we'll run this thing and we'll see how it goes. Right now edge beta is not open, so it should open the browser and show it to show it the result. So build is successful, but it didn't open the browser. This is the problem with Visual Studio for Mac. Okay, finally it has opened the browser. Yes. Okay, so we have home counter, the same old thing, fetch data and all those things, blah blah blah. Okay, so we have the UI ready. I have, okay. Okay, so we have set up the code on Mac for now. So tomorrow what we'll do, I think it was slow because I was doing everything on on the camera mode. I think that was creating so much havoc on recording and everything. So what I'll do tomorrow is, tomorrow we will set up the MySQL. Do you guys want to see that how I set up the MySQL on Docker? I think slowing it might slow down the internet and everything because it's a heavy file. So no, let's not go into that. I'll probably write a blog about that how to set up MySQL like on Docker. And so anyway, I'll write a blog for that. Let's leave that part. I'll set up MySQL tonight after this after I close this stream. And what I'll do is I'll since we are talking, so let me change the scene, camera scene. Okay, so yes, so what I'll do is after this I'll set up Visual Studio. I'm sorry, I'll set up MySQL via Docker. So my MySQL will be ready, and then tomorrow what we'll do is we'll move the database from SQL Server to MySQL, and we'll connect that database in this thing, in Visual Studio for Mac. In our code we will create one screen for connecting to the database, fetching the data or something, one simple CRUD screen. Okay, probably we'll do it for since app user will be our, so we'll be creating our login screen, and I'll show you the whole process of how I can use those the SQL files which I have generated using my DTO generator. Those SQL files are usually for my SQL Server, but there is an online website using which you can convert your SQL Server queries to MySQL queries, and then you can utilize it. So I'll show you that how I can do it, and then probably I'll add those into the scripts folder of the source in repository, so that we can utilize it for the future references. Okay, so that's for now. That's for today's today's streaming session. I'm sorry guys once again for that goof up of not showing my screen when I was working on Windows. I'm sorry once again. So see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.